Hi guys, right, I need to, how are we going guys? Let's try and, where can we sit where there's no sun? I think we're gonna have to stay here. I've got my Elvis in the background. The Christmas tree's a bit in the way. Let's have a look. Oh! Hi Deborah. Hi, who we got? Angel Eyes on your TV, yeah. Are you on the TV, are you, Angel Eyes? Right, let's let the dog out. Of course, the dog only barks. Princess, my dog, my 15-year-old dog, only barks to go out when I go live. That is standard rule. Okay, so the TV's on, I think. Okay, watch on TV and text on mobile. Okay, you got it all worked out then, Angel Eyes. Have you got your coffee? Hi, Lynette. Now, of course, we must have a coffee. I've got the camera a bit over there. Let me just move this chair out of the way a minute. Whoa! So I can shift over at a better angle. My wife's just quickly gone to the school. She only really goes there for an hour. It's not. She goes there to see the kids. It's not. She does work, but she doesn't have to. She goes because she wants to, just to get out of the house. She's been doing a lot of Christmas decorations. Right, got my coffee. So the wife's been doing a lot of Christmas decorations all around the house. As soon as we hit the 1st of December, my wife goes into Christmas decorations mode. She's like on it everywhere, the whole house, up and down, everywhere. So, which is good. Right, let me try and sit where there's no sun. So, the usual thing with the notification. Now, guys, I did want to say something. So, I'm notifying quite a lot of people. I'm notifying quite a lot of people. Yeah. On the live streams. Now, I'm only going to notify people now that are joining the live streams, because the problem I've got is it's taking me 15 minutes to notify so many different names. So from now on, I'm only going to notify people that are joining these live streams. So it just means that I can do it quicker. I can do it quicker because obviously people move on, they go on to other channels and all the rest of it, which I completely understand, which is fine. Right now, hi Helen. You sent me, right, have you sent me some live, thought the live photos I sent you would help. Right, have you, Angel Eyes, have you sent me some pictures? Have you, Angel Eyes, have you sent me some pictures? Hang on. I'm watching myself, hang on. Let's just turn that off. I'm actually watching myself, right, so let's go back to Messenger. I don't have any. Right. Okay. Right. So let's have a look. So you don't have to keep writing, just forward them to fans. Yeah, but the problem is, Helen, is that I've got like 30 different names and only about 10 of them are joining us. So I'm just going to reduce it down to the 10 that are joining us. Then it will only take a few minutes. Don't forget, people aren't just watching this channel. They've got loads of other channels that they're interested in. And I'm not everyone's cup of tea. You know, sometimes I can be like Marmite. That's fine. I completely respect that. Right, so we are going to read this. Now, I was hoping to read this before my wife gets home. Yeah? So you got your coffee, guys. Now, I know that this book gets a reaction. I know some of you don't want me to read it. I completely understand it. I know I'm gonna get messages because I'm reading this book that are negative. I also know some people will unsubscribe. I just want you guys to know. You're doing the Christmas tree. That's cool, Jane. That I'm not reading this to promote it or because I believe it. I'm reading this because I think we should debate it. I think we should review it. I also think we should discuss it. Yeah, this is a book discussion. Yeah, with Team Elvis, we read together. I'm going to jump in and give my critique and ask you guys for your critique. Yeah, so please don't think I'm trying to push this on you guys. You have to decide for yourselves. Now, I did originally start saying I'm going to leave it to you guys to fully give your opinions and views, etc. But I do think I want to be part of the discussion, so I am going to give my point of view as well. Yeah, I fully respect people that do believe it. Like, I think a few of you on here do believe it, and I have total respect for you guys. There's nothing wrong with believing the story or not believing it. It's completely up to you, or if you just want to be completely impartial. Okay, guys? So, right, let's do this. So I've got my coffee. We're on chapter 3. I found chapter 2 quite interesting. Now, I will say this. How I left off on the last chapter was a bit, it all just seems too good to be true. That's not even the way of putting it. No, not too good to be true. No, it all just seems too much. Like, there's so much going on. Very extreme. It's a very extreme story with extreme things that are happening. So it really does. It's hard to believe. It's a very hard to believe story. That's where I left off. Yeah. Let me just shut the door, the back door. So we're gonna read it, and then we're just gonna see. Okay. Whoa. Right. I think I'm just gonna top this up one more time, and then we're gonna start. So I'm home with the dogs. My wife's gonna be home in probably half an hour, and after we finish, I'm gonna walk the dogs. And I've already gone for a run. I'm probably gonna do 2 walks. So, okay, right. So welcome to all of you. Let's see if I can sit out the sun. Here. Are we away from this? Wherever I move, the sun follows me. We've got Elvis in the background. The Christmas tree's a bit in the way. Can't do much about that. Right, let's start reading. Chapter 3. It's called, I think I might have to go this angle. Let's try and do it where the sun's not on the book. So chapter 3, it's called The Fall, 1953. I just don't like the sun being on me like that. It's really irritating. Sorry, guys. Let's check what your messages are. Yeah, the sun's really annoying. Okay. I followed a homemade map to find the ranch where Mr. Noe wanted me to perform. It was about a half-hour drive northeast of Monroe, somewhere close to the Mississippi border. The place was like a scene from Gone with the Wind. It was early evening, and the grounds were lit by floodlights that made the weeping willow trees shimmer. Patches of red, white, and pink camellias added a color. The white colonial-style house that was regal and airy and set off by black shutters and 4 huge white columns at the front entrance that contrasted with the black roof. A veranda with white rails of delicate lattice work wrapped around both sides and led to a screened porch in the back. There was a lake about 50 yards from the front porch. Graceful swans and ducks glided over the water. There was a temporary stage set up between the house and the lake, and a big bonfire was blazing about 100 yards to the right. People were everywhere, and thousands of more, and some were roasting, oh, can't read that, roasting wieners. What's a wiener? A wiener, what are wieners, guys? In the bonfire, while others ate from tables of prepared food scattered around in the area. It was an older crowd of politicians and rich businessmen, the kind of people you'd expect ex-Governor Noe, is his name Mr. Noe, Dr. Noe, what is he, to associate with. I didn't move in those circles, but with so many people, there was a chance of running into someone who knew me. I made myself scarce by walking along the edge of the water. A young man in a bright blue shirt with big white polka dots was staring at me. He acted as if he wanted to approach me and appeared to be struggling with shyness. I ran back to the house, not wanting to wait until he built up the courage. I told the woman in charge of the entertainment that I had to leave early. She said that I could go on first and told me to put on my costume. My legs were shaking as I took off my red velvet skirt and black décolleté sweater and slipped on my dancing clothes. I was nervous about performing. I was afraid of being recognized and beaten when I got home. My costume was one from the television show. Beth Brees, a talk show host at KN0E or KNOE radio, frequently assisted me with my stage outfits. She helped me design the one I wore that evening. I was a sergeant that called for a wilderness scene, so we cut up a white sheet in fringes and added slashes and tears to give me a wood nymph look. It was one of my favorite dances and was performed to Anna, the same song they played at my audition. I heard my cue and climbed outside to do my number. I instantly became oblivious of the crowd as I withdrew into my dance. It felt wonderful. Again, the rush of adrenaline when performing is a thrill. Let's have a look. Let me just say that again. I heard my cue and climbed onto my number. I instantly became oblivious of the crowd and I withdrew into the dance. It felt wonderful. The rush of adrenaline when performing is a thrill I will never forget. And when I finished, the applause almost blew me over. I had never danced before. A live audience was accustomed to the silence of the studio. Now people were clapping and whistling and hollering their approval. I bowed a few times, totally flustered, and then ducked back into the house. Time for a swig of the coffee. Oh, we got a new member. Manja Sorensen. Hi, Manja. Thank you for becoming a member. Guys, I love it when you guys become members. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm really grateful that when you guys become members. Say hello. Let's all welcome Manja, please, guys. Thanks. Right. Let me just check that's the postman. All right. Right, let's have a look. Come on. Okay, the invisible postman is not there. So, hi Manja, I hope you're enjoying us reading together. Manja, where are you from? What name should we call you? Right, let's go. Right, I can read it from this light, so let's have a look. Let's get to the right bit, guys. Whilst I dressed, a haunting voice carried over from the stage area. It sounded like Frank Sinatra. I went to the window to see who was on stage and was surprised to see that it was the same young man with the polka dot shirt who had been staring at me by the lake. He sang with such depth and richness. It was gripping. I figured that the crowd would really go wild, but the applause was only moderate. It was an older audience. They didn't appreciate him. I backed away from the window. The young singer's career's plight was the least of my worries. Getting out of there as fast as possible was my main concern. I was able to perform because the man wasn't in town. He could return at any moment. If he found me gone, especially at night, a beating would follow. I made my way down the stairs and rushed out the back door, and nearly bumping into someone standing nearby. It was a singer. He was out of breath. His hair was tousled. He grabbed my arm and steadied me. I tried to get by him, but he stood in the way. I love your dance. I loved your dance, he said, smiling brightly. I enjoyed your song, I mumbled, still trying to get around him. You're not leaving, are you? I asked. I don't even know your name. Lucy, I said. What's yours? Immediately, I regretted asking. I had to leave. Elvis Presley. Right, this is the meeting, guys. Now, remember, we're just reviewing, we're discussing this book. I'm not saying I believe it or disbelieve it. I'm just going to be critical and review it, and we are going to have a book discussion. So please feel free to comment as you like. Right, let's just check your comments. The dog is driving me potty. Right, hi, sir. It probably is. We probably will get a new book. Come on, we love these books. We love them. It's teaching me how to read. You know, I can't read. I'm slowly, my reading's slowly improving. Let's have a look. Angel, I've seen that movie. It's a very long time ago. Yes, Josie, it's a beautiful movie. Very hard film to find. I came by it years ago. Right, okay. Yes, I think it is on YouTube, guys. I know the one you're talking about. Right. Right, let's keep going. So this is the big meeting, the introduction. So this is where they meet, yeah? So I'll go back a little bit. I loved your dance, he said, smiling brightly. I enjoyed your song. I mumbled, still trying to get around him. You're not leaving, are you? He asked. I don't even know your name. Lucy, I said. What's yours? I immediately regretted asking. I had to leave. Elvis Presley, he said. Duh, duh, duh. What a strange name, I thought. Will I see you again, he asked. I can't, I said, bowing my head to avoid having him look in my eyes. Good luck with your singing. I can't, I said, bowing my head to avoid having him look in my eyes. Good luck with your singing. I wanted to stay and talk to him. Normally, I would have run away, but he seemed so nice, vulnerable even. And there was something about him that was very attractive. Yep, Elvis Presley. His brown hair was shiny and appeared darker because of his balm wore, because of the balm he wore. The balm. What is a balm, guys? I walked through the crowd saying goodbye to people who complimented me on my dance, and something made me turn back. The singer was standing there watching me. Our eyes met and he smiled. I smiled back and then turned and walked away. Okay, so they've met. Okay, guys? Louis is going to dance for us at Christmas. Do you know what? I can dance a little bit. You know, my kids are good dancers. Ayisa. Let's have a look. Emily, there is also another stream topic. Anything, everything, most about America. Okay, let's keep going. So I think this is the author speaking now, Dari, who has been in touch with us. Yeah. Right, it's same as Brylcreem. Yeah, I used to use Brylcreem in the 70s. Yeah. Obviously, we don't use Brylcreem now. Do they even still make Brylcreem, guys? Let me just check my notification. It's his in his early days in 1953. Elvis, then 18, had not yet formed his own style and therefore imitated other successful singers. Friends and associates were often startled at how well he could mimic Sinatra, Dean and Martin, or whomever else he wanted to copy. His audience that after was made up of the same generation that would decry him when he became famous. Decry. I don't know that word. Decry. Decree. Decree him. As one old timer in Monroe told me, nobody who'd been at one of James Noe's parties would have given a damn about Elvis Presley, famous or not. He could have done his whole Vegas act and he'd still be booed off the stage. So, right, let's keep going. So that was in 53, yeah, guys? So I need more details of that, but okay. The singer's smiling face kept flashing in my mind. It was a brief encounter, a few words, a smile, but he'd made a lasting impression. I thought he would probably be very successful one day, and maybe I would have a chance to see him perform somewhere. Okay, well, you thought right. A couple of weeks later, Mr. Twomey talked me into modeling for a shoot at the zoo. I thought it might be fun, and when the time drew near, Mr. Twomey dropped the other shoe. I didn't tell you what zoo, he said, laughing. It's the Memphis Zoo. And by then, the arrangements had been made and it was too late to change. Mr. Twomey wasn't even going. He gave me a phone number and told me that he had contacted a photographer in Memphis. The man was out of town, so I decided to go. It would give me a chance to see my sister Mary, who lived in Memphis. I told Mr. Fowler that Mary was sick and needed help. That Friday, I gathered up my daughters and Mrs. Fowler drove us to the train station. It was a long ride to Memphis, about 5 hours. The girls fidgeted the whole way. My sisters came to pick us up. Driving to her house, I noticed how lovely Memphis was, full of trees and colourful flowers, and it seemed large compared to Monroe. After dinner, I called a photographer and he came over with the date. We decided to go out. My sister called a babysitter to watch Deborah Melody and her own young son. They took me to see a hot new singer in town. We went to a club called the Eagle's Nest, a tacky place with tables covered by red checkered tablecloths. They wanted to sit right up front, but I was still so afraid of being seen in Memphis. I steered us to a table near the middle. A boring Western band was playing. No one was singing. I asked my sister which one was the hot new singer. I think we know where this is going, guys. Hi, Caroline. She said that he was part of the band and that he came on when the band took their breaks. If the singer was playing second fiddle to this dull band, how hot could he be? We know it's going to be, don't we, guys? Now you'll see the photographer's date squealed as the band left the small stage, the house dimmed, and the solo singer appeared. I was stunned. It was the guy from the party with the funny name. He looked even better than when I'd seen him before. He wore silky white shirt with big billowy sleeves and baggy black pants. It gave him a swashbuckling pirate look. He moved around more than he did at the party, and his hair flopped down over his face. Sounds great, guys. Sounds great. He gave an energetic performance, copying the current hits by Sinatra, Dean Martin, and the other popular singers. He appeared to be staring at me the whole time, and he sang that he appeared to be staring at me at the whole time that he sang. Yeah, which made me uneasy. Okay, well, we're getting it. So she traveled to Memphis, and by chance, she goes to a show, and Elvis is singing. Interesting, guys. So nothing here that I want to criticize or review or critique, or it's just okay. Let's see how it's unfolding. I'm just seeing who's here. So hi, Jane, Karen, Josie, Emily, Caroline, Angel Eyes. Hi, everyone. Anyone watching? Join in, guys. A special thank you to our new member as well, which we really appreciate, guys. Yeah, we're getting to know Manja. Manja, we're a very friendly, welcoming family here, and we're all getting to know each other. We're all friends. We all love Elvis. Hi, Josie. Okay, let's keep going. Where were we? Just trying. The sun is so in my face, right? When he finished, I was again surprised that there was only polite applause. He had really poured his heart out up there, and except for some girls at the table up front, he didn't excite anyone. It didn't seem to bother him, though. Instead of retreating backstage, he came out into the audience and began talking with people in the crowd. I watched him and marveled at how polite and courteous he was to everyone, especially after the lukewarm reception. It was almost as if he was thanking them for listening to him. That sounds like Elvis, doesn't it? After talking at some of the tables up front, he started walking straight to our table. He talked to my sister and the other women. He then looked at me and said, "Who's the pretty stranger?" He gave no indication that he remembered me. I was relieved but disappointed. They told him that I was the big-time TV star and a model from New Orleans, exaggerating, of course. They told him about my photo session at the zoo the next day, and he was impressed. "You'll love Memphis," he said. "It's a great city. Why don't you let me show you around?" Aha. Yes, come on, guys. We can all have different opinions. We can agree to disagree. It's all good. I begged of saying I'd be working all day and wouldn't be able to get away. We left before he had a chance to give a second performance. If he gave one when we arrived home, my sister scolded him for refusing the singer's offer. "Lucy, I know about your marriage, if you can call it that." I know, right, I'm going to say that again. "Lucy, I know about your marriage, if you can call it that. I know what you've been going through. Some of us have spoken to the Archbishop Cushing about it in Boston, and he said you don't have to remain married. You can get out of it. You don't have to feel you belong to that man. You can do whatever you want. Though my sisters chose her husband, her marriage was also bad, so she was sympathetic. I thanked her for her support and promised to consider what Archbishop Cushing had said." See, again, I'd like to have proof of that. Again, remember, we're trying to see if it's true or not. I'd like to have proof of the bit with the Archbishop Cushing. "I was up at dawn the next morning preparing for the photo session at the zoo. We had to start early to catch the morning light. I put on a pair of white shorts, an apricot and mint green sleeveless plaid house. I always find it amazing that these people can remember what they were wearing. How many years ago, guys? 30 years ago? I really do, honestly. Right, let's have a look. Right, Helen, see you later. Thanks for joining us, Helen. Right, let's have a look. I put on a pair of white shorts, an apricot and mint green sleeveless plaid blouse, and white sandals that tied around my ankles. I brought some tennis shoes to wear afterwards because the sandals had wedge heels. Brushing my hair, I thought about the singer. It was the first time in my life that I began feeling something about a man. I was torn between enjoying it and accepting the hopelessness of it." Okay, but come on. Do you know what? She even remembers bringing some. What was the thing she said? She even remembers bringing some tennis shoes. I'm being a little bit critical, but okay, let's just see how we go. I tell you now, I wouldn't remember what I did 20, 30 years earlier. I just wouldn't. Right. The photographer knocked on the door and said it was time to go. It was fun getting in the pens with some sort of tamer animals and cavorting with the monkeys. The peacocks screamed at me, but the zebras and llamas were gentle. The photographer wanted me to get near the hippopotamus. See, I want to see these photographs. You know, this is a photo shoot at the zoo. I want to see some of these photographs. This would be proof. But I balked. I especially liked the giraffes because they were so beautiful and graceful. And during the shooting, I couldn't help feeling sorry for the animals because they were so caged, and I was no different. We finished around 3 o'clock since my ride wasn't coming until 6. I had some time to wander around. I slipped on my tennis shoes and then walked to the horse stables near the entrance of the zoo. A friend in Chalmers had taught me to ride when I was 8. I wanted to ride the whole 3 hours, but it cost $3 an hour and I needed to save my money. And when I went to pay, the man at the counter refused to take it. "You've worked hard today," he said. "You'll make us all look good. Go ahead, ride as long as you want." I steered the horse towards a wooded area bordering the zoo. The wind felt good against my face as the horse galloped across the grass. Turning at the edge of the woods, I noticed another horse rider coming towards me. We know what's going to happen here, guys. That bothered me because I wanted to be alone. And when the horse stopped beside me, I looked up and saw the singer smiling and sitting proud on the chestnut-colored animal. He was dressed casually, but wore a bright scarf around his neck. "Fancy meeting you again," he said. Now, what wasn't his horse? I'm trying to remember the name of his horse. Does any of you guys remember Elvis's favorite horse? Is it Geronimo? I can't remember. I do know it because I've done a video about it. What was the name of Elvis's horse, guys? He had one that obviously Priscilla had, the black one, and then there was the I've forgotten it. The Rising Sun, yes. And then he created a stable called House of the Rising Sun. That's it. And it was some kind, Palomino. Thank guys, you know your stuff. See, you guys know your stuff. Right. So if this is true, he's on the Rising Sun. She does describe the color, doesn't she? Where are we? So I noticed another horse rider coming towards me that bothered me because I wanted to be alone. The horse stopped right beside me. I looked up and saw the singer smiling and sitting proud on the chestnut-colored animal. And they are chestnut-colored, aren't they, guys? He was dressed casually but wore a bright scarf around his neck. "Fancy meeting you again." "Why are you following me?" I demanded, trying to sound firm to hide my fear. We were alone and I knew nothing about him other than the fact that he was a singer. My only experience with a man was filled with violence and horror. "Because I haven't stopped thinking of you since I saw you in Monroe," he said. He being Elvis, of course. He did remember. I wanted to know why he didn't say anything at the eagle's nest, but it was difficult to talk because the horse kept moving around. The singer grew serious. He politely and almost meekly said, "I just want to ride with you for a while. Is that okay?" He was so nice that I couldn't say no. We rode along the edge of the woods, looking at each other and smiling, but saying little. We came to a place overlooking a lake. He got off his horse and then helped me off mine. It was the first time that I didn't cringe at the touch of a man's hand. He paused, looked in my eyes for a moment and squeezed my waist, then smiled and went to tie the horse to a nearby tree. We sat on the grass. "I came here today because I wanted to see you," he said. "I didn't think I'd ever see you again. Why did you act so strange in the club?" "I don't know. I just sensed you were uncomfortable and I thought it better Well, I thought it'd be better because the other girls were around. I saw you the moment I walked on stage. I didn't forget you, Lucy. He looked at me in a way that was so unlike the lustful way that a man looked at me. I asked him about his life. He told me that he was poor and wanted to make something of himself so he could help his parents. He didn't want his mother to have to work anymore. He felt the same way I had about my mother. I told him a little about myself and my love for music, but omitted the dark side. We must have made a funny pair, Elvis and his distinctive voice and southern twang, and me with my French accent, popping out every other word, riding back to turn in the horses. He asked if he could see me again. Okay, I need to concentrate, don't I, guys? Right. Guys, you all want to meet Elvis, don't you? You want Elvis to ride past you, don't you? And start chatting you up. Right. Where are we? I don't believe that's possible, I said, fighting to keep from crying. I had finally found someone kind and he appeared to like me, but I was forced to keep brushing him off. It twisted me up inside. He gently placed his hands on my shoulders and turned me around. Lucy, do you believe in miracles? I nodded. I think my right, just 1 second. I think my wife's getting home. It's okay, Mummy's home. All right. Right, 1 second, guys. Let's let the dog have its little mum's come home bark. I'm still a bit live, yeah? I've got, right. I have to go and say hello to Mummy. How are we getting on, guys? Yes, I think, we've got about 4 pages left. We'll just keep going, yeah? Where are we? Lucy, do you believe in miracles? I nodded. I want to tell you something. I've been with a lot of girls, but you have something very special. I saw it from the beginning. It's like something I read once about Lancelot. He kept himself pure and loved only one woman. He was mixed up, I guess, but he could see others couldn't. I think I'm like that. Does this make any sense? It made a lot of sense. I was surprised that he had read about King Arthur and the knights and the round table, and those were some of my favorite stories. Elvis was the kind of man that I always dreamed about. Only meeting him now seemed cruel. I was better off fantasizing about a prince that didn't exist than being tortured by the knowledge of one who did. I really have to go, he insisted. No, I really have to go, I insisted. So she insisted, yeah? Okay, let's keep going. We're on page 26, guys. Right, come to the club tonight, he said. Please, I need to talk to you some more. I have to go. We'll go somewhere afterwards. He was so insistent that I relented. He made me promise that we led our horses to the stables and say goodbye. That evening, I told my sister that someone invited me to see Kate Smith. There was an ad in the newspaper that said that he was performing in town, and that was my excuse. I didn't want to tell her about the singer. She was happy that I was getting out and all but pushed me out of the door when it came time to leave. She even let me use her car. Right, so I think there's a bit here which is the Desiree, the author. Yeah, I'm a bit robotic, Nicola. I just, I'm slowly, I'm practicing my reading with you guys, yeah? Right, let's keep going. So Lucy's sister, Mary de Barbin, had lived on Lauderdale Street in Memphis, a few blocks down from Lauderdale Courts, where the Presleys lived. In his early teens, Elvis used to mow her lawn and often played with her young son. A few years later, Elvis began performing at the Eagle's Nest, and although Mary had moved to Peabody Avenue, a mile or so from Lauderdale Courts, she kept in touch with Elvis and was excited about his career. She sometimes went to the Eagle's Nest to cheer him on and lend support. And when Lucy came up from Monroe for the modeling assignment, I took her to see Elvis. Mary told me from her home in Louisiana, he came over to the table after his performance to say hello, as he always did. This time was different. He couldn't take his eyes off Lucy. He was very taken with her. They talked, and he asked her out. And the next day, Lucy said that she was going to a Kate Smith concert. Do you know who Kate Smith is, guys? Or something. I didn't believe that for a second that she went off somewhere with Elvis. Elvis's infatuation with the classic literature played a part in his attraction to Lucy. He was taken by her French accent as well as her beauty. Those who have tried to portray him as an ignorant hillbilly overlook the fact that his favorite subject in school was English, and that throughout his life he was a voracious reader who consumed everything from romantic history and the Bible to complicated religious, philosophical, and spiritual writings of Theophist Madame Blavatsky. I have no idea who that is. Madame Blavatsky. Let's have a look. His hair was shiny and neatly combed in place, and his collar was turned up. He was much more subdued this evening and sang a lot of soft, moody ballads. His singing was nothing like the way it would be later. I tried to pay attention to his performance, but my mind kept wandering to my problems. Being there only complicated them. Elvis did a single set and then came over and said, let's go out, let's get out of here. He walked with his chest held high and expanded and moved with determination. With determination. Detrimentation. I made up a new word then. Detrimentation. With determination, he led me to an old but well-kept car, apologizing because it wasn't a late model. He opened the door for me, then closed it. I went around to his side. Before he started the engine, he reached over and touched my hand. I want to show you my city, the most beautiful city in the world. You don't mind? I'm proud of it. Do you mind? Loving one's hometown was nothing to be ashamed of. I wished I could love mine. We drove down a beautiful street lined with large colonial homes. I have a house like this. I hope I'll have a house like this one day, he said. I'll take a lot of work. My plan is to make a record. A person can get rich if they can make a good record. What do you think? I think you can do it. Just don't give up. You have to be different to be noticed. I try to be that way when I dance, but I get scared sometimes. Yeah, I know, he said. You never know if the people are going to like you or not. You can sing the same song the same way, and one crowd loves it and the next crowd doesn't. He pulled the car into a small lot near the park and asked me if we could walk for a bit. I was afraid that he was going to ask questions and tried to find out more about me. We walked in the cool night for a while and then stopped to sit on a wooden bench. My fears were verified. Lucy, tell me about your life. What are your dreams? What do you want to do? I told him an abridged version of my story, starting with my father's death and how that affected my family and forced my mother to work. I left out the part about the marriage. Elvis's face became sad. The similarities between our mothers was something that we shared. My mother Never had anything pretty, he said, but I'll make it right. I'll become a success and buy her everything that she wants. He paused for a second, then his face lit up. And your mama too, Lucy. I'll take care of her if I make it before you do. It was such a warm sentiment. He meant it. He was so sincere. He turned and embraced me. It was a loving embrace between kindred spirits. Slowly and tentatively, my arms rose to squeeze him to me, and I felt wonderful. You look so pretty in the moonlight, he said, pulling away to take a look. The words were disturbing. I was afraid and suspicious of men. They told girls how beautiful they were just to have their way with them. Elvis was different, but I was so frightened and confused about life, I didn't know how to react. Please don't try to flatter me, I said. I don't like false flattery. You don't know me. He was hurt. He looked like a little boy. I want to know you, he pleaded. I'm telling you the truth, how I feel ever since I saw you at the party. I kept hoping that you were more than just pretty, and now I know. I feel the way you think. You have to believe me. I do. I'm sorry. I'm just shy. We stood up and began walking again. Elvis held my hand. Do you remember someone? He asked. No, it wasn't a lie, not in the sense that he meant. We stopped walking and faced each other. I felt so small in his arms. He bent down and gently kissed me. Time stood still. Oh, and that's sweet, guys. Can I see you again? He said. I guess so. What I was saying, how could we? This was only going to lead to more trouble. He noticed my hesitance. Lucy, I want to share something with me. I want you to share something with me. What? Success. I want you to share my success. I smiled weakly, knowing that was improbable. You seem so distant. What's wrong? I don't mean to, Elvis. Really, just give me time. There are some things I can't speak about right now. It's not that you don't like me. No, it's not that. Just personal things. Come on, let's walk some more. We walked in silence for a while. Elvis stopped and pointed to the sky. You see this moon? Remember it. Whenever you see it, think of me and how we will be together again soon. It's getting late, I said. I've got to leave early tomorrow. And we drove back to my car. Elvis kept asking me for my address and phone number. I dodged the question, but he persisted. He wouldn't let me out of the car until I answered him. I finally told him that he could reach me on the television station or the department store. Reach me at the television station or the department store. You'll see me soon, he said. Don't worry. It was hard not to. I was certain I'd never see him again, and in a strange way that hurt as bad as anything I'd ever experienced. The next morning, while waiting to board the train, I was paralyzed with the fear that he would show up at the station and see me clutching my two babies. He could never be mine, but I had to keep the dream alive for a little while longer. I needed it. I returned to my busy but bleak routine. The only relief was dancing and working in Silverstein. Elvis didn't call, or if he did, no one told me. Then one Saturday, about 2 weeks later, someone at the store mentioned me to the phone. I wanted to come to see you, Elvis said. No, motioned me to the phone. Someone at the store motioned me to the phone. I want to come and see you, Elvis said. I told him he couldn't and gave the excuse that I had to go away on another modeling assignment. How about tonight then? He asked. I played along, assuming that he was calling from Memphis. Tonight would be fine. Just fly in like Superman. I will, he said. I will, he exclaimed. You just wait. Actually, I have to work tonight, I said, worrying that he might really show up. I'm singing at a wedding. He asked me the name of the church and where it was located. And like a fool, I said, St. Matthew's. He couldn't be serious. And I promised I'd see him another time. Right, let's see how much we got more, guys. Right, we've only got a bit left, so that's good because I need to go off in a sec. Okay. So that night I was singing the Alleluia from, I've only got 2 pages left. That night I was singing the Alleluia from the choir loft behind the pews, and suddenly someone began harmonizing behind me. I turned slightly and saw him. Elvis, what a shock. I was in the middle of the song and had to keep singing. He moved beside me, still singing along, and gently took my hand. We finished the song together. Elvis sang it beautifully. I sang Gounod's Avenue Maria. Don't know that one. Next, but it was too Catholic for Elvis. Elvis's Southern I can't even say this. Elvis's Southern Pentecostal background. So he had to let me solo. The minute I finished, we ducked out of the church before anyone saw us and walked around behind the building. Elvis squeezed me tight. You sing really beautiful, he said. Thank you. I didn't know you could sing. Hallelujah. I love church music, especially gospel. I go to the church all the time. What are you doing here? I asked, still a bit startled. I came to see you. Come on, are you hungry? Let's go and get something to eat. We went to the Rendezvous restaurant, an elegant, popular place in the suburban area. We had a wonderful dinner. Elvis wanted to go all out, steak, champagne, desserts, the works, but I declined. The champagne and dessert, I didn't want him to spend his money. As we ate, Elvis kept reaching over and touching my hand. Unfortunately, that evening was almost spoiled when a number of people recognized me from television and came by the table. I was embarrassed. Elvis was impressed. You're a star, he said. I felt something crawling up my leg and jerked back. Looking down, I saw a red rose sitting in my chair, on my chair. He had reached under the table and tickled my leg with it, then left it there. He laughed when I jumped, thinking it was a big bug. The rose was crumbled and wilted, as if he had it in his pocket all day. He signaled the waiter, and I was presented with 3 fresh red roses with long stems. Pointing to each one, he said, "This one is you, this one is me, and this one represents our love." I want to show you what it means to love someone and what marriage is. He continued. That confused me, but I let it pass. With all the complications, I didn't want to think about anything like that. We left the restaurant and Elvis asked if there was a pretty place where we could talk. I directed him to the secluded spot on the Bayou Desired, a large winding lake that weaves through Monroe. We sat on a bank directly across from the, I don't even know this is Desired Country Club. Talked and laughed and kissed and watched the light sparkle in the water. As Elvis leaned over to kiss me, his arms got tangled in the gold chain I held, the confirmation cross around my neck. The cross fell into the dark grass. We searched but couldn't find it. Elvis promised to get me another one to replace it. We had so much fun. I didn't want the evening to ever end. It was getting late and I was getting worried. He wouldn't take me back until I promised to go to Memphis again. He drove to St. Matthews to drop me off at my car. Before we parked, Elvis looked at me very seriously and said, "When I see you in Memphis, I want you to tell me what's bothering you. Maybe I can help." I said I would. So, okay, so Elvis is trying to find out what, more about her life, isn't he? So then I think we've got a section here from Desiree, and then we're going on to chapter 4. So that I've only got a few minutes left, guys, so I'll quickly read that. Now, it's a nice story. This is how I feel, guys. It's a nice story, very interesting. I'm not trying to sway you either way, but I don't believe any of it. I just think it's a nice story. What do you guys think? What do you guys? Can I ask you guys? What do you think? Do any of you think this is true? I'm very interested to have your opinions. Please comment and let me know what you think. So I'll just read the bit from Desiree, the author. Let's read this bit. So Lucy's knowledge of Elvis comes exclusively from their times together. So she was unable to explain how Elvis came to perform at the party where they met and why he found it so easy to surprise her in the Monroe, a city 300 miles south of his home in Memphis. My research was more enlightening. In the late summer and fall of 1953, the dog's driving me mad, guys. Princess, be quiet, stop barking. In 1953, Elvis was almost a fixture in Monroe, Louisiana. Nearly a dozen people told me that they saw Elvis then. In fact, it's hard to find an old timer in Monroe who didn't see him. Some recall seeing him playing in a bar on the west side of the town called the Red Coach Club. Others say they saw him at a high school, an outdoor party, or at the fairgrounds. James Noe Jr., who now heads the family television and radio empire, said Elvis was spotted playing in the back of a truck in the parking lot of a local shopping center. This still leaves the question of why. What is it about Monroe that attracted Elvis? Richard Wilcox, a music historian who manages radio station KN0E AM and FM in Monroe, told me Elvis came to Monroe in 1953 to try to get on to the Quachita Valley Jamboree, a country music show at the Quachita Valley Fairgrounds. Wilcox said, I think he came in 1952 also, when he was still in high school. The Jamboree was a pretty big deal at the time and was broadcast live over KNOE. Elvis tried out, but he never got to perform. He didn't get to play at the Red Coach Club and a few other places. No, he did. He did get to play at the Red Coach Club and a few other places. He did. Yeah? Right, so last page, guys. This is still the author, yeah, Desiree. So why did the future king of rock and roll fail to make it on the Quachita Valley Jamboree? Because my husband wouldn't let me. Mary Taylor firmly said Hugh Taylor ran the Jamboree and chose who played it. He died in 1975, but his wife Mary recalled the younger singer. Sure, I remember Elvis, Miss Taylor told me. He came down here a number of times in 1953. Elvis sat in the audience a time or two, checking out the competition. I guess then asked my husband for a tryout. I was there. He was just a kid. He didn't have a band or anything, just him and his guitar. He sang okay, but he couldn't stop wiggling that leg of his. That was the problem. He just wiggled around too much when he sang, you know, like he always did. My husband didn't like it at all. We had a family show. There were a lot of children who come in. My husband wouldn't let Jerry Lee Lewis perform either the first time he tried because Lewis had this wild white afro. Jerry cut it off and my husband let him play. But Elvis never stopped shaking his leg. The Jamboree was every Saturday night in the exhibit building of the Quachita Valley Fairground in West Monroe, which is now where the new Civic Center and City Hall is. We had a lot of big stars on the show, Slim Whitman, Farron Young, and one of my favorites, Webb Pierce, but not Elvis Presley. No, not Elvis, never. Mrs. Taylor reiterated that John Birdsong, a junior, whose father ran the fairgrounds, also recalled that Elvis tried out for the Jamboree in the fall of 1953. Elvis finally did get to play at the Quachita Fairground a year later as part of the Hank Snow traveling show. That started a series of triumphant returns to the stages or cities where he had once been rejected. that's it, guys. We're on chapter 4. I've got to go in a minute, but yeah, the dog's annoying. Right. Do you know what? Nothing in that chapter, honestly, nothing in that chapter convinces me that there's anything true about this book. Can I ask you, how many of you feel that that is true? Can I just ask that before I go? I'll just quickly check your comments. I'm just going through your comments, guys. Yeah, Lynette, that's how I feel at the moment. Lynette is saying it's more of a fantasy, isn't it? You know, I don't, you know, I want to show respect. I want to show respect to Desiree, the author who wrote the book, and I want to show respect to the people involved, but I'm not feeling it, guys. I'm not feeling it. I have to be honest, but I also want to show respect to the people that do believe it, because I know a few of you guys obviously believe it, but at the moment, I'm definitely a no. At the moment, this is just a nice story that has been made up. I don't want to upset anyone. I know Kathy's been helping me. Desiree has been speaking to me, and I don't want to show any disrespect to you guys. I'm not feeling it, guys. We're going to come back. We're going to read chapter 4 probably tomorrow. I've done enough of this book for today. When I do come back, we're going to read one of the other books. I haven't decided which one. We may even do a bit of defending Elvis. So please, can you leave in the comments how you feel? Even if you watch this on a replay on YouTube, please, can you leave some comments on the video? Let me know what you think. Do you believe it? Don't you believe it? Are you sat on the fence? Is it just a pack of lies? Is it truth? What about it doesn't convince you? What about it? I just think, Caroline, it just feels made up to me. That is how I'm feeling. You know, like when you read something and you get a sense of it, you get a feel for it. The feeling I'm getting is that it's just a nice story, a well-written, nice story. That is the answer to your question, Caroline. Now, remember, I don't want to show any disrespect to anybody that does believe it. Yeah. She's describing a very early Elvis that we don't know. We know him later in life, and he became more famous. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Josie, I get it. I get it. Now, remember, we're only on chapter 3. I may change my mind. I may change my mind. At the moment, I'm still a no. Yeah, who knows? When we start going through the book, even Karen said on the last video, because this is the second live stream we've done today, even Karen said, as we go into the book, you start to change your mind. My meeting Elvis in a book, I would write the part the same way, like I was daydreaming. Anyway, guys, I've got to go. I don't want to upset anyone, guys. I know this book gets a big reaction. I understand. I want to try and do it as respectfully as I can. Okay? So I'm very open to your suggestions, to your input, to your comments. I really want, you know, guys, if you want to sway me and open my eyes and make me see things from a different point of view, I'm here. I'm open. Yeah. I'm not hard and fast on this. I'm not setting concrete. I'm up for being swayed either way or indifferently. I just want to go through it with you guys, and we'll go from there. So I'll see you later. I'm going to do another live later. You take care, guys. Thanks for joining me. Have a great day, all of you.